Very good evening to all the friends. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizing committee for inviting me and giving a platform to be here with you to share few ideas on this topic of medical photography. Few months back when I got registered for this event of HitCon, and I was just trying to convince more of my friends to get registered for this, they all exclaimed to me that what is this HitCon actually? I told it's a healthcare technology conference. Now they told that these two words, healthcare and technology, they both seems to be contradictory in nature. One is A group, other is B group. I just took a little more time to explain them that they are not contradictory in today's era, they are synergistic. And I'm happy to see that the second HitCon is gaining more of confidence from the attendance. And in coming time also, we will have more sessions. So I congratulate all the organizers for the same. Now, we as a medical students, we are taught that we are students for lifetime. It's true. And that's why we are learning this. We are learning technology to improve our practice, to improvise ourselves in the surrounding era. You don't see any other professions doing this. તમે કોઈ CA ને નથી જોયા કે લોકો એમ કે ચાલો આપણે આજે મેડિસિનની કોન્ફરન્સ કરીએ. કે કોઈ advocates, they don't come together, their association, and they plan for this medical event. So, we as a medical professions, we require this technology in coming times. And one important aspect of it is medical photography. So, a very short but some informative thing about medical photography which I would like to share. It is said in medical science that eyes do not see which mind does not know. And the same principle applies to photography also. First question, why medical photography is necessary? Record keeping and documentation, medico-legal aspect in today's era, it's very much essential. For assessment of treatment and its results, it definitely improves the doctor-patient relationship. For academic and research purpose, and it is a useful diagnostic tool in some of the medical condition also. 3 points which I would like to highlight for medical photography. Some prerequisite for medical photography. One is consent. Second one is basic knowledge of camera, and third is standardization of photography technique. These are some medico-legal and ethical aspect for photography. It's not as simple as we talk of or take off. It is recommended that medical photography and illustration department should have a policy and protocol which should cover informed consent. Informed consent must always be obtained for any form of audiovisual recording to the patient. It should be obtained by the patient clinician. The photographer must always check that the patient understands what they have consented to. If the patient changes their mind after even receiving information from the photographer, then their wish should be respected and the clinician can be informed regarding that. It is considered to be a good practice for medical photography and illustration department to provide patients with the written information that clearly lays out the procedure and possible uses of the photographs. It is also considered good practice and common courtesy to inform the patient about the photographer's name and the job number in writing for their future references. All patients' audiovisual material should be clearly marked with the level of consent given by the patient when they leave the department. Medical photography or illustration department, they should not release audiovisual recordings of patients unless informed consent has been given and written record is obtained for the same. And informed consent for the publication of patient audiovisual recording should be sought for each specific use. If you are taking photograph, that doesn't mean that you are entitled to use it for all the purpose. It is not considered good practice to obtain generic consent for such cases. Second thing, knowing the instrument, knowing the tool which we are using. So, few camera basics. I will not go in much technology about the camera, but a few parameters which are essential. That includes the camera control, camera modes, white balance, ISO sensitivity, exposure and resolution. Few things about the lens, lens filter, camera flash types, and camera accessories. So, this is a simple point blank or point shoot camera or even DSLR cameras. So they have this shutter button, various mode dials, pop-up flash, camera lens, aperture and lens release. They also have these viewfinders, LCD screen, even a storage site, white balance, and mark for batteries. These are certain modes available. It's not good to shoot in automatic mode for a real photographer. So there are various modes available, including portrait, macro, landscape, sports, night mode. So they can be used depending on requirement. Various lenses are available, which are also essential, ranging from close-up to telephoto shooting. They can be used based on requirement of the photography. Some cameras have inbuilt flash, while some have pop-up flash. Now, this clinical photography and academic presentations have undergone an exponential paradigm in few decades. The availability of megapixel cameras, digital imaging system, and computer-driven digital presentation program, they have revolutionized the teaching and learning experience of medical field. If one is doing statistically significant scientific work, they should have some standardization technique, which is a prerequisite. So what are these standardization techniques which are helpful for all the clinics? So in pursuit of relative standardization, a place with a white non-glossy poster board on the back in each room in office is required. We use the white color because when using a colored background, printing the images will absorb most of the printing color. So setting up each room with a standardized background is convenient, as it is difficult to channelize all the patient for photography to a single room. So one will obviously take a more photograph if we have a white background in all the rooms, just a small area at the back of the door. Something like this. So that will help in photography. Again, it is imperative to take all of your images in a standardized manner. Each patient should be positioned in the same manner for a given pose. The focal distance can be standardized by securing a piece of a dental floss or even a chain to the bottom of your camera and holding it to the nose of the patient. This will ensure that you will be at the same distance from the patient in all views. So something like this. So that will give you exact focal distance for all your photography. The pose of the patient relative to the camera and background is again a next important factor. Clinical imaging is not a place for trick photography. Frontal and posterior views are the most difficult because they will come with some amount of shadowing. If the camera is straight onto the subject, minimal shadow is apparent. Hair, ears, and clothing can cause shadowing. So that can be taken care with the digital images, which can be taken without flash or using an accessory flash. So this is how we can avoid this shading. If we are taking just from the front with this type of flash, instead of this, just tilting the angle of the camera will reduce the shadowing. Another commonly experienced photographic pitfall that erodes the operator creditability is taking a preoperative picture without flash or in a poor light, and the post-operative picture with flash or increased light. No flash or poor lighting sometimes always enhance the wrinkle, acne, and orbital fat prolapse. Taking the same image without a flash can be so dramatic that it can be passed on as a surgical result without even intervention. Several details should be considered in repeatable image. If you are taking repeated images, this jewelry, glasses, makeup, they do count. If the patient wore glass in the preoperative image, they should have the same glasses in the postoperative also as far as possible. Jewelry which is large and distractive should better be avoided during photography. Patient should be reminded not to smile and should always look into the camera or in oblique or lateral views. A step stool is also sometimes required, as the patient may be of considerable taller or shorter than the photographer, and pictures taken looking up or down will be of not the exact size. And another last but important problem is a blinking patient. It is very frustrating for the patient that photographer cannot take the photograph because of frequent blinking by the patient. Using a red eye reduction function may help in many of the digital cameras. So friends, photography is not all about the buttons and settings on the camera. It's the way we see the world. Life is also like a camera. We focus on what is important. We capture the good times. We develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, just take another shot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, nowadays we are taking photos from mobile. I am orthopedic surgeon.
Yes.
So usually the files of Mediclaim people are submitting, and all records we don't have, particularly the X-ray records. So I also insist all the audience and the concerned people to take a photograph of X-ray on your